Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I am here to review and compare 3 different Coiled daily planners. I started using a daily planner for personal use back in the fall with the Erin Condren Petite planner. Having a place to plan every single day made me more productive in a number of different ways. Mostly, it allowed me to fully plan out my week because I knew that if something changed during the week, I could just plan out that day in my daily planner, and if my weekly planner wasn't perfect, that's okay. It also gave me more space to list out things I wanted to do every single day. Here was the problem though. I love coils. I just could not handle the sewn binding of the Erin Condren Petite planner as much as I loved the layout. So what I went and did in December was got my Erin Condren Petite Daily Coiled. I went to Office Max with a couple of friends. We stood there in Office Max. I have a whole video about this if you want to see the details, where we literally cut the sewn binding while we were in Office Max. The guy that was working at Office Max cut them apart with his giant paper cutter, and then we kind of rearranged the pages, and then he punched them and put them on a coil. He actually put it on a plastic coil at the store, and then I went home and put it on an Erin Condren metal notebook coil, but I will talk about that more later. This planner was amazing. For 1 quarter. It was absolutely perfect for me. I used it almost every single day. It had everything that I needed. I added in other petite planners besides just the daily. I added in an undated daily for my weekend. I added in the wellness planner, and I added in the habit tracker. I wasn't always consistent about using it, but I loved this planner. And then at the end of March, I had every intention to go get another one of these made for quarter 2, and then a global pandemic hit, and I wasn't allowed to leave my apartment except for essential trips. And this just didn't feel essential as much as I loved this planner. So I couldn't get one made for quarter 2, and I started using the Erin Condren Petite planner again without the coil. And I don't love it. It does work for me, but I miss the coil. So then Erin Condren released the Daily Duo. Oh, there we go, a coiled daily planner. And it is beautiful, the paper is gorgeous, and the layout is great, but it's not perfect for me for a couple of reasons, which we'll get into later. Then somebody sent me a message on Instagram, and they told me that Plum Paper planners, which I had heard of before but hadn't ordered from in years, made a coiled daily planner that was an A5 size. And I pretty much ordered it that exact same day. And I've now had it for about a week or so, and I've been playing around with it, comparing it. I've made all kinds of lists, and I can't wait to share it with you today. So what I'm gonna do in this video is start by flipping through this planner and just showing it to you from front to back. I have videos going through both of these planners separately if you wanna see flip throughs of these planners. This one is new, so I'm gonna flip through this one from front to back. Then I'm going to go through all of the comparisons. So size, price, start months, coil options, ease, quality, paper, all of those different categories. I'm gonna rank the 3 planners first, second, and third, and then you'll see at the end which one I have decided to start using in July of 2020. Before I start flipping through this, I do have to give a shout out to Plum Paper in general for their customization. It has been years since I've ordered. In fact, the last time I ordered from them, they were still on Etsy. So this was the first time that I'd ordered from them on their actual website, and oh my goodness, I was blown away by the number of customization options. So not only do you get to pick the size of your planner, they have the A5 size, they have a 7x9, which is like the Erin Condren, and then they have an 8.5x11. They have a ton of different cover options that you can personalize. I didn't actually get this cover personalized because I wanted to order it and get it in the mail, and I just couldn't decide on a customization for the front. They have so many different layout options: vertical, horizontal, daily, monthly, teacher, student, goal planners. I mean, you name it, they probably have it. They have so many different insides. And then within the layouts, you can pick the titles of the headers, or you can just leave them blank if you want. You can choose between a neutral and colorful. You can choose not to have it coiled if you want to punch it yourself. You can choose the start date and the length of your planner. And then the best part, which I'll show you what I ended up choosing, are all of the different add-ons. So they have add-ons for basically anything you can think of, and they have just a ton of different options. So let me start flipping through this for you. So on the outside, they have like a plastic piece before you get to the cover, but the cover itself is pretty durable. It's not, because it's not laminated, but it's like smooth. Like if you spilled something on this, it wouldn't have an issue, and it's pretty durable. But I do appreciate that there's a plastic piece on the outside so that this inside one is protected as well. And then you have a cover page. You know, it's a proper planner, so it's got all those like extra pages that you would expect a planner to come with. So we've got a 2020 overview, January through December. Then you have a special dates overview. So you have January through December, just boxes for each of the months. months. And then you have the same 12 boxes with no headers, and it says ideas, plans, and goals, and you can kind of fill those out as you please. Then we move into the monthly section. So they do have a notes page before the month that doesn't have anything on it. So there's no lines, there's no dot grid. I would prefer if this had some sort of lines or dot grid on it as opposed to just being a blank page, but you do have a notes page. And then you have the divider, which is not laminated, but it is thicker than all the other pages. The tab is laminated though. And similar to Erin Condren, each month has a color that is kind of the color of the month. But instead of kind of jumping around like Erin Condren, it does this sort of ombre effect, which I really, really like. So July is this green color. So you have this monthly overview page that's got the circles and kind of just some different categories. And then another notes page, which is lined. Then you have the monthly layout, which starts on a Sunday through Saturday, and you've got little boxes for each month and then a note section. And then you start the daily layouts. You can see I already put a sticker in here. I wanted to see how the Chrissy Ann Designs Celebrations Collection stickers would fit. Anyways, this is what the daily layout looks like. And again, you can get the headers with their classic headers that they put on the daily layout, or for an additional $4, you can actually get these headers customized. I paid the $4 to get them customized, but my custom choice was keeping them blank because I wasn't quite sure how I was going to use each section. And so I wanted the option to write it in and change my mind over time. But if you knew exactly what you wanted to use each section for, you could get those already printed on there, or you can use their pre-printed ones and not pay the extra for customization. The layout itself does have a little bit more to it than the Erin Condren Daily Petite Planner. So the Erin Condren Daily Petite has basically 3 sections and then like a to-do list section. And this one has the to-do list section, but then it's got kind of 5 sections almost. So you've got this kind of top 3 section at the top. This one, they have a separate little dotted line at the beginning of each line, kind of implying that you would put some sort of schedule here. You would put hours here. And then they have this section that has lines, this section that's just a colored box, and then the section at the bottom with lines. So again, it's a little bit different of a layout, but this same concept, if you will, of a daily layout. The biggest difference though is Saturday and Sunday each have their own page. So you have the exact same layout every single day of the entire month, including Saturday and Sunday, which I really appreciate because in both of the Erin Condren planners, Saturday and Sunday are on the same page. So here's the Daily Petite, and then here is the Daily Duo. So both of them have Saturday and Sunday on the same page, whereas in the Plum Paper, Saturday and Sunday is on its own page. I did start playing around with the layouts a little bit, kind of seeing how I would set it up. On the weekdays, I actually don't want hours for my personal planner, but on the weekends I do. If you did want to put hours in this planner, there are 10 lines here. So you could either do 10 hours here or 5 to have the half-hour time slot. Or what I think I will probably do is put the to-do list here and then put the hours here where there are 16 lines. And so I can do 8 hours of the day with half-hour time slots is probably what I'll end up doing. But either way, you have a page separately for Saturday and Sunday. And then the only thing that kind of results in that I don't love is that every other weekend, the weekend isn't one full spread. So you have Sunday on one side and then Monday on the other side, but then the next weekend it is. And I would prefer it to look like this where I could see Saturday and Sunday without flipping back and forth, but I will sacrifice that to have them on separate pages. Then you get to the end of the month and you have a notes page. You either have 1 or 2. It'll either be one-sided or double-sided depending on how the month ends. So if the month ends on this side, you're gonna have a double-sided notes page. If the month ends on this side, you'll only have this one-sided notes page, which isn't that big of a deal, but just something to know. Then you get to the custom inserts. So again, one of the best things about the Plum Paper options is they have all these customizable inserts that you can just get already bound into your planners. And you'll see that they have inserts that are both what they call dispersed. So there's 1 or 2 pages every month. And then there are some that are just in the back. And we'll get to that because I got one of those as well. So the ones that I got dispersed every single month, by the way, all of these additional inserts are an additional cost, obviously. It's an extra like $2 to $4 depending on the insert. So I got the monthly cleaning every single month, which I really like this. And what I think that I'll do is that for some of these, I'll be specific about it. And for some of them, I'll just put like week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. You know what I mean? I also will have some extra space because I don't have all of these rooms in my apartment. And then on the back, it just has blank categories. Actually, maybe here I'll do like week 1 and all the things that I want to do on a weekly basis. We'll see. Maybe that's what I'll do. But my Q3 goal is going to be to nail down a cleaning routine. So that's why I got this additional insert. Then I got the fitness one, which I like. At the top, it has like your weight goal and then your weight actual. I wish it was like starting and ending. I don't have a goal really, but I do want to track that. And then it's got vitamins, sleep, steps, exercise, and water. And then on the back, it's got, oh, here we go. Here you have a weight 1, 2, 3, 4, BMI 1, 2, 3, 4 measurements, goals, and then kind of how you're feeling. And then I got the habit tracker, of course, which I don't love because it only has space for 5 habits every single week. And if you know me, I usually track more than 5 habits every week, but I'm trying to think of a few ways to fix that a little bit. But it has space for 5 weeks. One of them is on the back, and then it has 5 habits for every week, and then kind of an overview, like a reflection of your habits. And then I also got this to-do list one insert, which I thought was really cool, where I could just track, you know, kind of running to-do lists. It's got 8 blank spaces. So I don't know if I will do this by weeks or if I will do it by category, like PlanwithLaken, home, you know, whatever category to-do lists. And then you move into the next month. So same thing for August. And then at the end of August, you have all of the additional inserts. And I chose a 6-month version. You can choose a 12-month version of the planner, but you can't get any additional inserts on the 12-month version because it just wouldn't fit on the COIL. So that's why I got the 6-month. Well, I would probably have gotten a 6-month version anyway. I actually really liked the portability of only having 3 months on my little Erin Condren Coiled Petite, but 6 months is, I mean, it's better than 12 months. So then at the very end, if you got any of the inserts that aren't dispersed, they start here at the end, and they all also have come with their own tab. So the only one that I got here was meals. So it's got some like educational pages at the beginning, and then it's got a place to plan out your meals. So it's got Monday through Sunday, and it has 2 weeks and 2 checklists, and it has enough for 6 months. And it's got a couple lines for each day, so I probably will do like lunch and dinner. I don't really plan out breakfasts, but it's got enough for 6 months. And then it's got your grocery store favorites, which I really like, and then your takeout favorites, and then your annual grocery spending, which I thought was interesting. And it only has 6 months because it's only 6 months. Then you have a couple notes pages, not many. Truthfully, you have 3 basically, or 1.5, depending on how you look at it. You can see that I already did a pen test, which I will talk about more later when we're comparing the planners. Then you have a password page, a contacts page, front and back, and then a major US holidays, and then a 2021 overview. And then you have a pocket in the back. It is a paper pocket. It's not the, you know, most sturdy pocket that I've ever felt, but it's fine. I don't put a ton in my pocket anyway. And then a back cover, and then a back plastic. So that is a flip through of the planner. You can probably tell from the flip through that there are a lot of things I really like about the planner, and then some things that aren't my favorite as well. But let's go ahead and start talking about the differences between the 3 planners. Now, I did create a chart that shows all the different comparisons of these 3 planners that I'm about to talk through. So if you want to go check that out for a reference, I've uploaded it to my website, and I will link that down below, and you can go check that out. But let's start going with just some facts. So let's talk about size. Obviously, the Erin Condren Petite Planner is the smallest, followed by the Plum Paper, followed by the Erin Condren Daily Duo. So if size matters, if portability matters to you, then this is definitely going to be the best one. And then the Plum Paper followed by the Daily Duo. You can see the coils are all kind of the same size as well. The Plum Paper is actually a little bit thicker than the Erin Condren Daily Duo, but keep in mind, I do have all those extra inside pages as well. So from a size perspective, because I do like to carry this one around, not right now because I'm not going anywhere, but normally the Petite Planner would actually get first place for me. Also keep in mind for Plum Paper, this is just the planner that I've chosen. It does come in this size and the 8.5 by 11 size as well. All right, let's talk about time frame. So the Erin Condren Petite Planner is a 3-month planner. I mean, I could have done more and coiled more together, but you can do just 3 months. The Plum Paper, this is a 6-month planner. And again, you can get 12 months with no additional inserts, but you can't go any smaller than that. Now, yes, I could. The coils match, by the way. So any accessories that work for one are going to work for the other. So I could uncoil this and do just 3 months and put it on a smaller coil if I really wanted to, but it doesn't come that way. The Daily Duo also is a 6-month planner, but you have to buy 12 months. You can't just buy this in a 6-month version like you can this one. Next, let's talk about tabs. So the Petite planner doesn't come with any tabs. You can see that I added these Avery sticky tabs to mine, but they don't come with any. These two planners both come with tabs because they are proper planners, not just one that I, made myself. So these come with proper tabs. So if that's important to you, something to keep in mind. Similar to the tabs, these two planners both come with a bunch of additional pages. So a couple pages in the front for some overview and then some notes pages in the back. This planner doesn't come with that because it's, again, not a proper planner. However, you could always add those pages if you really wanted to. Let's talk about customization. So the least customizable is obviously the Erin Condren Daily Duo. This comes how it is. You can't add any additional pages. You can't have any special focused pages unless you turn a notes page into that. So this one is definitely the least customizable. This one is a little bit customizable because, again, you can get some of those other Petite planners coiled into it, and then you can have it be whatever you want, which is what I did. I had 4 different Petite planners put together to make my perfect planner. This one also is ridiculously customizable, and you don't have to do any additional work. You pick the ones that you want and you add them in. Yes, you're paying for that additional customization, just like you're paying for an additional Petite planner here, but the customization here is definitely number one. All right, let's talk about cover options. So the least number of cover options is definitely the Petite planner. You do have all the different Petite planners and Petite journals to choose from. I happen to choose this habit tracker one as my cover, but you have a number of different options, but it's not going to be personalized. There's no way to do this one with a personalized cover. The Erin Condren Daily Duo does have all the options from the Erin Condren website, which they do have a good number of options, and you can get pretty much anything customized. Also, you can pick different colors for customization depending on the design that you choose. However, the Plum Paper by far has more customization options from a count perspective. They have so many more cover options than I could have ever imagined. And when it comes to actually customizing it, you can put it in the middle, you can put it at the bottom, you can get it different colors, you can pick different fonts. You just have so many more options. I actually like the Erin Condren designs better when it comes to the covers than the ones on the Plum Paper website. That's just a personal preference. But in terms of facts and number of options, Plum Paper definitely wins this category. All right, let's talk about start month. So in last place is the Daily Duo. There's only 2 options. You can either get it to start in July of 2020 or January of 2021. Those are the only options right now. The Petite Daily has a little bit more flexibility because you can start on any of the quarters. So you can start January, April, July, or October. You probably could get away with starting on another month. I don't know how it would all kind of line up though. So I'm not actually sure if that would work because the back of the monthly wouldn't line up properly because there's no notes page. It goes straight from the day to the month. So actually you probably couldn't do that. So really you can only start on the quarter for this planner. The Plum Paper, you can start any month you want. You can literally pick any month of the year that you want this planner to start. So it was really tempting to get this to start earlier so I could start playing with it earlier, but I knew I would want it, if it was gonna be a 6-month planner, I would prefer for it to be consistent. So that's why I got a July start, but you could literally pick any month for this planner to start. All right, the next category is coil options, and the Plum Paper does come in last here because they only have a silver coil option. However, like I mentioned earlier, they do also have the option to have it not punched. So if you are a rings planner, you can get it not punched and punch it for your own ring system, which is pretty cool. Then I would probably put the Petite planner in second place, although you do have all the color options because this is an Erin Condren notebook coil. The coil that it came with at the Office Max was plastic, and I had to take that off and put this on myself, which is not only an additional expense, but an additional effort, and I had to cut it myself because the coil of the notebook was this size, so I had to cut it to fit. So there are options, but it requires some additional surgery to get a metal coil and not a plastic coil. And then the winner here is the Daily Duo because you have all 4 color options, the gold, silver, rose gold, and black, and it's quality coil, and it's definitely the best option. option here. All right, wrapping up the fact section with referrals and reward programs. So both companies have a referral program that if somebody uses your link to purchase for their first order, you get a $10 credit back to the shop to use as just in their store. Erin Condren, however, does also have a rewards program where you can also earn points for other things like your own purchases and your birthday and etc. And then over time, you can redeem those rewards for credit to the store. Plum Paper does not have a rewards program. All right, now let's move into the categories that are a little bit more opinions that I have. So far, we've pretty much talked about facts, but now we're gonna talk about some things that are really just more my opinion. So the first one is the ease of ordering and creating these planners. So an obvious last is this one. It requires a lot of work to go to Office Max, get it cut, rearrange it, get them to punch it, or do it all yourself, which you can do, but it's a lot of work. And while what came out of it was great, it was really hard to get there. These are probably tied because you can just go to the website and order it. This one might be in almost a second place because it does take a lot of work to go through the website and pick everything that you want. I mean, the customization is great, but it's not just like add to cart and order. Like there is a lot of steps that you have to go through to create this planner, whereas this one is pretty easy. You have to design the cover a little bit, pick the coil color, but for the most part, it's add to cart and order. The next category is sort of overall quality and durability. So I would definitely put this one in last place. You can definitely see it got beat up. This cover is very flimsy. It can easily get bent in a bag. This is definitely the lowest quality. Also, it didn't come like this. So it's gonna feel a little bit less quality because it was kind of handcrafted almost. Then I would probably put the Plum Paper in second. I think that their coil quality is great. I'll talk about paper in a second. But overall, the Erin Condren Daily Duo just does feel like a slightly higher quality product than this one. I don't know what it is. I can't really put my finger on it. Maybe it's the cover, like the solidness of the cover. Like this one is a little bit more flimsy. I'm not sure, but a close second, but still I think this one gets number one. And then the paper quality. So in a very obvious third place is the Petite planner. The paper in their Petite planners just isn't as good as the other paper. I struggled to find a pen that didn't shadow to the other side, which always bothered me, and it just wasn't my favorite. Now let's talk about these two. It is really hard to decide here which paper I like better. I think that they are both incredibly high quality paper options, but they're different. So the Erin Condren paper has more of a grit to it. It soaks up the ink really nicely, and it's got a grit to it. And it's pretty white, but there's definitely a little bit of an off-whiteness. You're not gonna be able to see that on camera, but it's not super, super bright white. Whereas the Plum Paper is incredibly bright. It's very, very bright, and it's very, very smooth. So certain pens just glide across, and you're gonna have to give it a little bit more time for it to dry for a second before you like wipe over it. But it is very, very smooth, and so it's different to write on. Whether you like writing on paper with a grit or smooth paper, that is gonna be a personal preference. From a thickness perspective though, this paper surprised me so much because flipping through it and the way that you feel, if you feel the two papers next to each other, I would be like, oh yeah, the Erin Condren paper is better. Like it just feels thicker and more luxurious, although the smoothness of this gives it a luxury feel too, but again, they feel luxurious in different ways. But I was so surprised at how I wrote with these pens, especially the Papermate Flare, and you can't see any of it on the other side. I mean, you can feel it. The gel pens definitely leave a ridging on the other side, which most planners, that's going to be the situation, but you can't see that. Like I could use my Papermate Flare in this planner every single day and not have it show to the other side. Like what? I was blown away by that. So, I think from a personal preference, I like the grit more than the smoothness, but I like the bright white of this paper to this one. So I like them both for different reasons, but I think that they both have very high quality paper. All right, the last thing I'm gonna talk about is price. I did do a survey on Instagram asking you what you think about most when you're picking a new planner, and a lot of you did say that if the layout and the functionality worked for you, that price isn't that important, but I can't not talk about the different prices of these options. I will say though that comparing the prices of these three planners is difficult because there's a lot of different customization, there's a lot of different options, there's a lot of different different things going on here, as well as they're all different lengths, right? So I'm gonna try to get them on an apples to apples basis, even though it is somewhat difficult, but we're gonna bring it down to the most basic level with none of the additional customization. So let's start with what would be the most expensive, which is the Erin Condren Petite Daily. So the Petite Daily itself, without any additional changes to it, is $14. And then I paid $8 at Office Max to get it cut, punched, and coiled. So if you're talking just basic, none of the other additional stuff, you're talking $22 for 3 months. And that actually doesn't even come with the metal coil. That's the plastic coil that they gave me at Office Max. So if you wanted to get the metal coil, then you're talking another $16 for an Erin Condren notebook. But for comparison purposes, I'm actually not even going to consider that, but I do want to up it to 6 months so we can compare 6 months to 6 months. So if you were to get 2 of the Petite planners, so 2 $14, that's $28, plus the $8 that I spent at Office Max, you're talking $36 for 6 months. Basic level, none of the additional pages that I have in here, just the daily pages and the coil that you would get at Office Max, which is likely a plastic coil. They didn't have a metal coil at the Office Max I went to. In second place is the Erin Condren Daily Duo. So again, you have to buy 12 months. You can't just buy a 6-month version. And so it's $68 for 12 months, but we're comparing 6-month planners here. So $34 for 6 months. Again, you can't buy that. You can't spend $34 and get just one of them. But if we're breaking it down to what it costs for 6 months, it's $34 for 6 months. And then in first place, again, with no additional customization, you do get to customize the cover, but no additional customization. So none of the additional inserts that comes with it. This planner is $29 for 6 months. Now that would come with the headers that they have. So if you added the headers, then you're talking $33 for 6 months. So it's still in first place, even if you got the blank headers at the top, which I think is fair to compare because these don't have headers on their sections. So at the end of the day, truthfully, with no additional customization, they're all pretty close, right? We're 33, 34, 36. Like they're actually all pretty close when it comes to price. The difference comes if you want to add additional pages to this one, that definitely makes it more expensive. If you want to add additional pages to this one, that makes it more expensive, but then you get the customizations. So I tried to do the math, and all in all, with all the additional Petite planners, I probably paid like $35 for 3 months for this one, which is a lot. Like that's a lot for a planner, but it was really perfect for me for those 3 months. This one, all in all, with all of my additional customization, I paid $45 for 6 months for this planner. And if you can't tell after all of this review, this planner is perfect for me. I love this planner because at the end of the day, I didn't have to go to Office Max to get it made. The paper quality is so much better than this one. It's small enough that I can take it with me to and from work, which this one is pretty big to have to lug around, and the layout works for me. So you notice one of my categories wasn't layout because that is going to be a personal preference. Everybody is going to have a different preference when it comes to the daily layout. And because I don't want an hourly breakdown every single day, this one isn't the best for me. And that might not be the same for you, but for me, this layout doesn't work for my personal life because of the hours. This layout is actually probably my favorite. I actually really like this layout, but again, the paper quality and the fact that I can just order this from a website is the best. So at the end of the day, this is the planner that I am planning to use starting July 1st, and I cannot wait. So if you have any other questions about this planner, please leave them in the comments down below. I am going to leave my Plum Paper referral link in the description box. If you are interested in buying anything from their shop, that link gets you 10% off, and then I get credit back to the shop, which I will tell you what I want to get is that goal planner so that I can review it and tell you my thoughts. So if I get some referral credits, that's probably the next thing that I'm going to purchase. But again, go check out their website at least. They have so many options. They have so many different planners, so many different inserts. Like I showed you the 5 different add-ons that I picked. They had add-ons for everything. They had home categories, budgeting, business, wedding, travel, teaching, students, different checklists, to-do lists, notes pages, all kinds of additional add-ons that you can add in, either dispersed throughout your planner or in the back with its own tab. It was amazing how many options they had. So go check out their website. I hope that this video was helpful for you. And if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thank you so much for watching. Happy planning. No, that's wrong.
That's not right.
But it's not just like add to cart. Oh my God, why can't I say that? The different, if you're interested in